Hello and welcome to the show, and welcome to my final video from the Goodwood Festival of Speed. There's going to be some sort of extras, cars that I didn't quite have anywhere to put it in other videos, or didn't quite fit the theme of the other videos, and some outtakes along the way. We start with a pair of McLarens, the P1 GTR and the older F1 GTR, two fantastic looking cars. I have to say, out of the pair, I'd probably still go with the F1. Very close call between them two. Now, there are a fair few sort of tuning companies around the place, and normally I don't like these kitted up supercars or whichever luxury vehicle it may be. I have to say, Mason really done a hell of a job with this 488. It is the first time I've ever seen one of these that I actually quite like. I do quite like it, very much like the, especially the rear wing, like the FXXK and so on. I think it's actually quite a nice kit, which is very unusual coming from me. They had a selection of James Hunt cars out here. Naturally, I was drawn to the Camaro because, well, it's a muscle car. I like muscle cars, and it is a, really rather good-looking racing vehicle. You can't go wrong with a racing muscle car. They also had some of his Heskeths around here, some Formula 1 cars, and these weren't just sort of static display cars. These were going up the hill, and one of them was even in the shootout. So, yeah, they were being driven rather rapidly up the course, and, well, classic Formula 1 cars always do sound really rather awesome.
Goodwood so far this afternoon. Now here we have the Hesketh win in the back, and this is how 70...
Speaking of Formula 1 cars, I was fortunate enough to be able to get into the Red Bull area and have a look around one of their Formula 1 cars. It's a little older Formula 1 car, yes, but while, you know, whatever your opinion is on Formula 1, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, certainly these are incredible machines, and being able to get up close and have a look around at all the different angles and so on, you really do appreciate all the engineering that goes into a vehicle like this one. It was great to be able to, you know, have a proper look around a Formula 1 car. There were some properly old classic vehicles. There's a 1911 Fiat. And likewise, I love looking at the engineering in these cars with their crazy sort of simplistic compared to modern days, but yeah, impressive vehicles. I would like to introduce you to my favourite game of all, though, from the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and that was seeing which cars could make it around the corner in the holding area. Play along at home, audience. Have a guess as we go through these cars and whether each vehicle is going to be able to make it around the turn, because yeah, this was a rather entertaining and quite good sounding game. And as you can imagine, it's not just the holding area that is a pain trying to get, especially the GT cars. They were struggling with just a lack of steering lock, basically. And race cars are notorious for not having a huge amount of steering lock. And in the rather crowded confines of the paddock, the cars were having a few issues. Another relatively large issue with the cars, incredibly heavy clutches, meant they were difficult to manoeuvre. The almighty wing kind of gets itself turned initially, and not going to be enough, so they have to pull it back, and then as it gets to get going again, stalls. I saw a good number, I probably saw 6 or 7 race cars stalling, trying to shunt around, and so unfortunately I didn't have my camera running at the time, but there we go. Some people have been asking me what was my favourite car from the event, and well, that is very difficult to choose. There were many incredible cars out here. This Mustang would be one of my favourite vehicles. After all, it is a V8 Mustang, and it is very close to FailRace colours. It's orange with black stripes. Unfortunately, the black stripes are down the centre, so it's about as close as you're really going to get. As far as race cars, well, there were many cars that I like. This Mercedes DTM car, the C-Class. I love this era of DTM vehicles. I think they look absolutely fantastic, so it was very good to be able to see this one. One of the other cars that I did really like, the Fiat Abarth, the 124. They had a few of the road-going versions. I think they were sending actually a few up the hill on the moving motor show. But this one was a static display car done up in the style of the old 124 rally car, and it looks incredible. I really hope that they do make these a thing and sort of compete with them. I don't know whether there is any plans to or not, because it looks phenomenal. So yeah, this is definitely one of the contenders at the top. I did happen to find, again, unfortunately, I had my camera running at the time. I did manage to get a photo though of the older Fiat 124. This one was going up the actual hill climb normally. I talked a little bit about the Lotus Europa in the Almighty Wing video. As I said before, I'd never seen one. I didn't know Lotus had made a Group 5 car before, and while yes, the spoiler is not the most impressive, it's is a gorgeous looking car. So yeah, this was definitely up there among my favourites of the vehicles. There are quite a lot of GT40s here. There was a whole segment of the GT40s, all the various different generations. They even had the prototype, which is the one that I am looking around here. No crazy wings, of course, on these cars. After all, designed to go fast down the Le Mans Straight. But yeah, the fantastic cars, and the prototype was great looking. However, the victor, if I had to pick it would be a very tough pick, would be this Cheetah Cadillac. It looks like, well, nothing else really out here. Massive engine, interesting sort of proportions body-wise. It probably won't be to everyone's taste, but I think it is a fantastically good and unique looking car. Yeah, a little bit sort of short at the back, but I think overall it works really well, and of course it sounds fantastic. And most importantly, it can manage to make it around the corner, while a Ferrari race car has some problems. And finally, to end this video, so the Saturday was a really rather wet day, and there was quite a lot of concern about me trying to get the RX-8 out of the car park. See, as we've been walking back to the car, we had been watching, there was an incredibly steep hill to get up, and we've been watching BMWs, Audis, Mercedes all getting stuck, and some four-wheel drive cars were having big issues getting up the hill. Now, I did sit around in the car. We waited for like sort of half hour, 3/4 of an hour, having some food and whatnot before setting off, so it was a little bit quieter, which meant we could avoid the worst path. Basically, the kind of the route that we came in was a long, steep hill that was completely and utterly churned up, and everything was getting stuck on it. So we were taking an alternate route on the way up, and things are working pretty well, actually. The camera angle doesn't quite do it justice, just how steep this hill is. It is not the easiest of things to climb up in. As I said, we'd been sat watching some cars, some front-wheel drive vehicles were having real fun issues trying to simply get up this hill. We could come towards the top of the route now. Now everything kind of all clusters together, to try and get out of the actual exits, and this is where things were likely to get a little problematic. The RX-8 so far had been doing really well. I really thought we were going to have big problems, but so far that was not the case. You can see a Golf having to be pushed. The marshals were doing a great job of rescuing vehicles, and some members of the public as well that were wandering around this way were helping cars out as well. I think a Mazda had got stuck trying to go through the gate, so we get sent to go a slightly different way. Still, everything was going well, amazingly, for the RX-8, aiming for this gate. Now, I thought maybe we'd take the line that the other cars had, the car ahead of me had gone through and got through, we might be alright. That wasn't the case, though. We'd got so far, but the Mazda had got stuck. Now, I tried going forward, but I was just sitting and spinning the wheels, and if I'd kept trying, I have no doubt I would have just dug myself into a giant hole. So I had to back the car up, fired reverse. Fortunately, it wasn't quite dug so deep that I couldn't reverse my way out of there. Back it up to let an Audi have a crack at going through here. A little bit better suited to the off-roading, I suspect. The Audi, the Mazda had got itself down from the other hill, but was going to sit and wait and let me have a go at getting out of here. So I'd spotted a route that was a little drier, slightly less muddy. I could try and get through on the left-hand side, and with plenty of power, surprisingly, power was working. I didn't put my foot down, but rapidly, I tried kind of creeping along, and that's what got me stuck. So yeah, we went for a little bit more, and it got the car out. Surprisingly, the RX-8 did not have... It got stuck once. It actually did a really good job at getting out of the mud. I was really surprised. I really thought we were going to have a lot more issues, but we didn't. And, yeah, the Mazda got itself free. It did... it looked like it had been through a few rally stages by the end of absolutely covered in mud. But there we go. That is it for this video, guys. I'd like to say a massive thank you to the organisers of the festival for inviting me along for the 4 days. It was an incredible experience, and being able to get into some of the little bit more behind the scene areas were absolutely incredible. So yeah, massive thank you for the invite. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you've liked this style of video. It's something a little bit different. I'm going to a fair few vehicle events over the summer, and hopefully I'm going to be filming more bits and pieces, more IRL stuff. So yeah, I hope you like this style of video. The wonky camera work should be gone. I've gone and got after all this, and I got sort of back and looked at the footage, I realised I need something better than I had, so I got a proper high-end sort of gimbal thing that should make filming stuff an awful lot better. So yeah, no more shaky footage for my videos, and of course a big thank you to the guys who have been supporting me on Patreon, so that I can get all of this fancy recording gear. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.